Have you written something? No. What you have written?
Result of intermediate first year and second year Arts, Science and Commerce of 2020-20 is very good satisfied result obtained with highest marks.
Oh, so you will give the थोड़ा सा रुको है ना 5 minutes कम से कम. Let them start. They are asking me to start video. This you write. Come. Okay.
अभी तो इसी में सेम रखें सेशन चेंज
हाँ
करें
हाँ. क्या है किसके पास? पीजी. हाँ. इन साल कभी नहीं दिया है देखो.
नया वाला के लिए तो लेटर देना होगा.
हाँ. हाँ. नया वाला के लिए लेटेस्ट. तो क्या हो गया?
A very pleasant good morning, everyone. And welcome back to the second day of our two-day national webinar on enhancing mental health and well-being post-COVID-19, organized by Department of Psychology, Nirmala College, 17th and 18th July 2020. Honorable Principal and patron of two-day national webinar, Dr. Sister Jyoti, Honorable Vice Principal, Sister Shobha, respected Head, Department of Psychology and Convener, Dr. Jyoti Prasad, Honorable Resource Person of today's first session, Dr. Khaninder Pathak, Organizing Committee members, Dr. Ira Tripathi and Dr. Vinita Sinha, esteemed HODs of various departments, revered faculty members of various colleges and universities, our valued participants and my dear colleagues and friends, a very warm good morning to you all. Today, we will be having two dignitaries with us discussing about mental health in two sessions. I request all the participants to please mute themselves and switch off their webcam for a smooth and seamless program. Dear participants, join Zoom meeting with us. If you are unable, you can join us on live streaming YouTube as well, for which the link has already been provided. The chat box will be activated for question and answer at the end of every session. And the participants can ask their queries then. But the comment section will be active over YouTube throughout the live stream. With your kind permission, sister, without any further delay, shall we start the program?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you very much, sister. Now, I would request our HOD and convener to introduce our resource person, for esteemed resource person for the first session of the two-day national webinar. Over to Dr. Jyoti Prasad.
Thank you, Dr. Sarwat. A warm good morning to all. On behalf of Department of Psychology, I welcome our principal and patron, Dr. Sister Jyoti, Vice Principal, Sister Shobha, our eminent speaker of today's first session of the two-day webinar, Professor Khanindra Pathak, my dear colleagues and participants from all over the country. Now I'd like to introduce to you our distinguished speaker, Dr. Khanindra Pathak. Dr. Pathak is currently the professor and ex-HOD of Mining Engineering, IIT Kharagpur. Graduating in mining machinery from Indian School of Mines, Dhanbad. He also did his PG from ISM and his PhD from Imperial College, London. Dr. Pathak has also served the Department of Mining, University of Technology, Lai, Papua New Guinea. Professor Pathak has received several scholarships and awards. He is the recipient of National Scholarship India, SHLC of SEWA, Commonwealth Academic Staff Scholarship, Srimati Balatandan Award, Sir John Dunn Medal from MGMI, Lifetime Achievement Award for Teaching and Research from Indian Mining and Engineering Journal, and National Geoscience Award 2014 by the President of India, in which he received a citation and 5 lakhs. Professor Pathak has published more than 100 national and international papers on interdisciplinary subjects, including surface mining, mining machinery, and mine environment. He has also authored 2 technical books and contributed chapters on books published by reputed publishers. His research areas include application of remote sensing and GIS for resource and environmental management. Passionately involved in pedagogic research projects with the Center of Educational Technology, IIT Kharagpur, Professor Pathak has also contributed a chapter of Encyclopedia of Life Support System EOLSS published by Project of UNESCO. Professor Pathak has carried out a number of industrial projects in the country and abroad. The Environmental Protection Agency of Republic of Ireland, through Imperial College London, implemented environmental noise modeling methods developed by Professor Pathak. During his PhD for preparation of environmental noise map of the country in 2002. He is an avid traveler and has traveled to almost all the countries. Dr. Pathak, we are looking forward to your enlightening session. Over to you now. Sarwar? Dr. Sarwar? Yes, now it's okay. It's okay.
Good morning, everybody. Professor Jyoti Prasad, Sister Jyoti, and thank you for the nice words. And also, I thank for selecting me to talk to the professors of psychology and then who are contributing a lot to the nation in building our mental health. And there, I don't know whether my presence will be how much meaningful, but as time is short, I'll be straight going to the some talking on my today's discussion, that is on interactions with students and how the teachers are going to face a new doctrine in online education. So I'm sure that all the psychology professors, psychologists, psychiatrists, now they will be facing a new type of environment where our children will grow. As a result, there may be different type of personalities will develop. Now, while this a new system is coming up, a new order in education is coming up, I felt that thank your organizer for bringing up a topic like student-teachers interactions, which could be a area of research for many psychology teachers and the psychologists, because not only for their own teaching, but also to help the education system as a whole, the whole education management, right from primary education to the tertiary education, they will be requiring the help of psychologists to handle different type of possible problems because imposed by this online education. So that's why I'm hopeful and also expecting to get myself helped in my teaching, that I will be requiring some of the psychometric analysis of the way students are learning. So in that, I will be just bringing up some of my thoughts. At the end, I may be putting up how a new research can initiate, and also that how our technology can help, that the psychology teachers also can be helped by engineering teacher in getting some of the new technology which is coming up. So these interactions may be very useful in near future. So just I would like to share a window for host has disabled participating screen sharing. Can you please allow me screen sharing so that I can upload my presentation?
Yes, sir, I'm just sharing.
Okay.
Now you can share your screen, sir.
Okay. Thank you. So can you see my presentation there?
Yes, sir, we can see.
Okay. So I'll really. So this is exactly how I have put my today's discussion: challenges of teacher-students interactions in COVID-19 induced new normal educational environment. Now that is exactly, everybody is talking of the new normal. Now the new normal in our education is also coming in a different way. Now this increasing the online teacher-student interactions can help students learn faster and more efficiently. Now in this challenging world, how exactly we are looking forward to significant learning outcome. That is, the two students will have to come out to give the outcome of their learning for our future. So now, for that, we will be requiring a meaningful social interaction. Without a meaningful social interaction, the results of learning cannot be imparted to the society. But for that, the students must be engaged in a very good community model. That is, their emotional presence will have to be there in the teaching and learning. Now, that effective practices which are there in our face-to-face teaching, that where we meet the people, we can get there. We are having drama, we are having debate, we are having a lot of cultural activities amongst our students, which are exactly creating their personality, their psychological band, and there we are missing something in online education. Now, this the teacher and the students, when they are interacting, there is a different particular characteristics we normally observe. There is a shared acceptance level is there. Certain things are shared commonly by students and teachers. There is a certain level of understanding is there between them. Without that, the teaching learning does not take place. And this affection and intimacy, this plays a big role. I'm very sure you know the techniques and tools by which this affection, intimacy, and trust can be, that behavioral. When we talk about the behavioral science and this, how exactly their things go in an environment of care and cooperation, these interactions. Now, here we are having now these teachers and students are not coming to meet each other in a face-to-face, just like in the figure you can see here, how does exactly intimacy grow. You can see the attention level and the eagerness of the pupils to interact with the teacher. That is one of the things which play a major role in learning. Now, in online education, how to get districts. Today we are doing it, we are talking. Now, I find it a little bit awkward that I'm talking to a group of galaxy of educated people, and I cannot see their faces, I cannot see their eye language, I cannot see their body language. I do not know whether I am boring or whether I am exactly talking something which is not acceptable. But when I see face to face, accordingly I can change my mood, my motivations level also. Now this is what exactly we will be facing when we'll have to teach a subject to them. There comes we require a strategic planning. As a mining engineer, we do in every aspect some of our strategy. Without managing a strategy, we cannot do. Here, in education also, our management in the colleges and schools will have to change their strategy under the post that COVID. I don't say post-COVID, I'll have to say it a co-COVID situation. The COVID, when it will be going, we do not know. We'll have to live with it. If we have to live with it, we'll have to get a co-COVID strategy. In that, our what you will be managing by our predictive changes, we'll have to predict some change which are coming in near future. And for that, we'll have to plan. And then our resources will have to manage. And for doing that, exactly in education also, there will be planning, appraisal and analysis will be carried out. But from there, when it will be imparting an education, there the strategic management cycle will be, we'll have to get at every time that operationalization of whatever we have planned, we'll have to implement it, and then we'll have to monitor and review how the students are exactly learning, how they are being assessed, their formative assessment, their this assertive assessment, their evaluations, this, and then we're giving them certification of their skill and competency so that they can have an employability. Whether he's studying English in in a small state college, or he's learning political science, or he's learning engineering. At the end, he will have to be a bread earner of a family. And then for that, whether this knowledge being imparted is giving him a livelihood, that means this transformation in a person, bringing that personality and that quality to survivor, to get his interaction with the life support systems. All around us, God has given so much thing, plenty of things are there. And then we'll have to, we know that nothing is ours. All this air, water, soil, this our coal, mineral, everything God has given. Food, drinks, and then we'll have to take it, and then we'll have to leave it for some others who are following us. In that continuation process, if we do not impart the right skill, we may create a Vikas Dubey. And that is what exactly our social psychologists will say. That is, we don't want to create another Vikas Dubey in our, this predicting changes through our education. For that, what we'll have to do? We'll have to have a social interaction is a natural human need and is acknowledged as an important factor in the development of learning process. So that's why in our, I think you all know about the Vygotsky's social development theory. In that theory, they introduced very interesting thing, that is our cognitive development is limited to a certain extent or with a certain range at any given age of an individual. We know that if I think that Dr. Robin Cook's that book, I can recall that book of that I am okay, you are okay. Many of you might have read. In that they say that exactly how the cognition level it exactly grows in our brain, and up to 9 years, how a child learns different words, and that how brain exactly evolves. That cognition development. But one very important, the second finding of Vygotsky is that fully development can be done through social interactions. That's why that when a new parent taps his child at 5 years of age while tapping on his back, exactly putting a message to his brain for a certain development, that interactions with the father or mother with the child is giving him the spirit to learn words. That is how it goes in the every level. So this social interaction or a learning is a social process, takes place through communication and interaction. So these communication and interactions will have to be developed. So far, as you can see in the figure, we are developing in the classroom. That's why the whole education has gone as a class. If you remember, the marvels of the world, the different, right from the Pythagoras theorem to the atomic theory, these were developed by Indian priests. How it was possible? Only because of the Gurukul system, where the disciples were going with the, staying with the rishis, and they used to do the work, and that they were learning through meditations, and there came all these theories, even that exactly the a plus b whole square formula to how to determine the value of pi. Everything was developed there only because they had a very beautiful thing, interactions and isolations together. That means they were working together at the same time they were sitting into deep meditation. So that type of interactions are possible only in a form of a class. As you see, this is exactly when Guru Dronacharya was teaching that all Kauravas and Pandavas together, they learned their skill for survival and for fighting. So that's what exactly in our modern educations, we have brought up the schooling and classing systems. Whether we see these Montessori systems where that in the kindergartens, this child is to play and sing with the teachers, they are exactly developing social things. Now that one is a challenge with we are having now TV show, we are making the children to sit in front of the children's show in a TV, getting this number of programs. But whether the social interactions are enough, or are we really planning, or we are accepting whatever the change is coming? Here comes, my dear friends, as a psychology professors, you are to take an important role in bringing the change management, managing the changes. Otherwise, the coming changes in the nature and in the society will change us where we do not know where we will be ending. So students learn from others. This is one of the very important things. So enhancing comprehension and retention by activating prior knowledge, making connections and consolidating new ideas. Exactly, मैं शुक बन करके अब तो मैंने शुक को बेट सिखाने जा रहा हूँ, क्योंकि आप लोग all your psychologists and teachers, you know about these things, but फिर भी मेरा आगे की बात ले जाने के लिए I will be just telling few things which are exactly known to you. Social interactions create positive working environment. Social interactions provide a means for our students to view topics from multiple perspectives and enhance their critical thinking and problem solving skills. These are well known. And then because how people learn, they learn through lectures, through contemplation, through writing, through researching, individual activities, and of course from simply reading. Now, whether these things are exactly excited, that is done by always with an environment of Guru and his fellow friends, the peer learning. Now, discussion along with other types of social interactions between instructors and students, it is necessary component of learning. Then if it is there, when we are talking that it will be an online learning, you learn from the computer, where in the computer has done a marvel of thing. Exactly, you are hearing now. Exactly, we are having this Panchendriya, that out of the Panchendriya, 2 indriyas has been taken up by the computer science. That is our noise, that is sound or that hearing, and that is our seeing, that whatever we are seeing and hearing, these 2 indriya. But I cannot make a hug on a computer to give the feeling of my warmth to my student. I cannot exactly put on a Park Avenue or something like that after lotion in my face so that the students will be feeling happy. Or I can give a good perfume on my shirt. I cannot do in front of my this. So I cannot expect my student to be telling that, sir, that. Sorry, just a minute. So, sorry for this. As I'm telling, that 2 indriyas are very well taken but the other threes are not there. Computer science is still working on how our fragrance that is can be taken, so that tomorrow and on online, my student will be telling, oh, good morning, sir, you have put a very good perfume today. But we'll have to wait for that interactions for some time. Now, in a computer-mediated world, the new order of evaluation, that is, we are now living in a computer-mediated world. That is, World Wide Web, it came. Some of you may be interested, if you are interested in the social psychological history, you may find out in 1960s, the first learning machines were produced. And when the learning machines were first produced, exactly for teaching grammar and teaching mathematics, there were a machine with a handheld, this mechanical machine on that the students used to learn. And then another development which came exactly, it is in Germany in 1980, that today all of we are using this PowerPoint. This PowerPoint, it was a discovery of 1980 in Germany. And from there, how exactly a disruption takes place, the way of the things changes. Sometimes there's exactly that online educations, their developmental history, if you see, in the 1990s, when this first internet things started coming up, the learning management system started developing, and then there's a new order of education started. Today, all of you might be hearing about that course era, that giving MIT, they are giving a free educations, online courses. But there in our country also, in India, many of you be knowing that how distance education started in the 80s and in the 90s. A lot of correspondence courses came in. Though that interactions were not there, but today a different level of interactions have come. Today we are having a lot of communication and collaboration is now emerged. In this new technology, that is we have got a new type of learning management system. I don't know that whether how you are going to use your learning management system. If sometimes any opportunity comes, I can tell you about how Moodle, that modular object-oriented dynamic learning environment, that model can be used by teachers of any subjects from primary education to tertiary education to maintain interactions with them, interactions with the students, and also getting an effective learning outcome. So that is a different aspects we may talk sometimes. But if you see something in Bethlehem, they did a good study. Exactly how the online learners community, because by 2019, all over the world, there were more than 6 billion students are working with online education. Lot of correspondence courses and things were going on. So it is necessary to incorporate discussions and social interactions into online, hybrid, or digitally enabled courses. But are the students really getting interested in that? There in Bethlehem, they found that about 11% students were not at all interested. About 26% people were little interested. But 37% is very interested. And then 26% is somehow interested. I do not know if amongst you, anybody has done this online education or this on the correspondence education. In our institution of engineers, India, which is a 100 years old institution, in India, they started this AMI engineering program through a mixed mode, sometimes distance mode. But AICT, they started de-recognizing it. And there exactly, no research or study has been, I think, conducted that how these programs were performing. Many times we take decisions without performing the necessary studies, because those studies that how that AMI examination served this country, or how the new education system and there's our correspondence course and there's distance mode education, how they can be blended. Their psychological, sociological, and economic aspects need to be studied by research. And that research, I do not know, maybe there, because it is not possible for me to search everything, but whenever I search for my need, I find there is some lack. So this may be a taking a point for some of you, the young teachers who have just joined. Don't get into doing research only those which our seniors have done, because we are many a times we find in one research area thousands of papers are available, but the new research area nothing is available. So there we need to find something. Now a new normal is coming in our online education. So in this new normal, the whole world is telling about that this world order is changing. I think COVID-19 has created such a situation, our all economic sector, this all market, and at the same time, a big challenge is we may be getting a large number of people out of the job immediately. So now when we are thinking of educating the society, we are not thinking about those who are having job, those who are having earning. We'll have to keep those exactly jobless people. They have also children, and there are many people who are not having access to the internet. They don't have access to the mobile phone. Then online educations, how to get it to them. So in India in 1995, ISRO started a program called tele-education through Doordarshan and All India Radio. Maybe our missionaries, our some of the religious organizations, they need to talk about that how bringing science and technology and economic education to the poorest of the poor in the villages by taking help of All India Radio and this Doordarshan through the programs developed or this EduSat, that EduSat educational satellite that launched by ISRO. Our country has those facilities, but we need to do a research and find out how effectively that can be done and what type of interactions will have to be created there. Now, in the area of students' experience in online, those who are having, those are not digitally divided, that is, they're digitally rich, digitally higher class, digitally upper caste, those people, their online educations can be done, but there also the academic challenge will have to be brought to the students by designing your students that they will look into your content. With the content, student will interact. Then active and collaborative learning will take place. That means student to student, they have got nowadays better understanding. They have got the friend circles, they have got WhatsApp, they have got Twitter, they have got Instagram, and they are having email, WhatsApp, whatnot. So student faculty interactions, that sometimes we'll have to have our own platform where we will be interacting with them. And then the college will have to change with a new order. We'll have to give a campus, supportive campus environment will have to be brought online. Staying at their home, they will have to fill the college, enriching educational experiences, how to do that, how to create a connection with their students and build a trust in them. This is a challenge. We'll have to do interactions. Now, exactly one thing is there in between. I am not being able to see the chat. Let me see if anybody has got some questions. I'll request someone who is having their moderator, that is your, you can keep me in between mentioning if there is any special questions, or I cannot see the chat box here. So if you are seeing, then in between, because I'm talking without interacting. Anybody has got any questions so far? Okay, so far no questions. So I proceed to the next one is our this Zoom platform lecture to an active learning classroom. Now, while doing so, it is not a lecture classroom online. It is an active learning classroom online. How to make an active classroom? Not only classroom. Now, what is there where I am just telling, dictating? There is no much interactions. That is, I am not being able to see your face. That is not there, and that's why our indigenously some party are developing to certain extent Code Tantra in Hyderabad. They have developed a platform, Code Tantra, in which some of these our video lecturing can be done. They are in a small groups, can sit into a separately, they can interact, but still not up to the mark that we would like to have in our education. So an active learning environment online we'll have to create. And that will have to be created for different subjects differently. For your psychological studies, what is your active learning? You will have to talk to. Normally I see as my brother is a psychiatrist, so I see him. His treatment is only by talking to the people. Now, if that is required, then you need to have the listen to your students. So that means your online platform will have to have a very good voice streaming. That voice streaming technology will have to be incorporated. Then even sometimes as a psychologist, you may be knowing by the tone of the voice of your student, you may find that he needs some special attention. So that's why if we see his written paper, we may not be able to. Of course, as a psychiatrist, you may be knowing if you find out there is a lack of coherency, some consistency is missing, or he's disturbed in his thought while he writing his few sentences, you can find out that he is requiring some special attention. But we need a different form of interactions in our online learning system. Now here, taking a pause, our learning takes place by reading, communicating, working individually, working together, presenting, receiving feedback, and testing. There, we are today talking about this communicating. Now, this communicating, if it is not there in the classroom, you'll have to get the chat, you'll have to get a student's forum, you'll have to get his journal, you'll have to make his separate diary sheets for him. Here, there will be a system of interacting on the diary sheet. You may have to now change yourself. That is, in earlier, it may be that yes, 1 hour my class is over, that topic is over. Now, you are having all the students all the time, because what is happening in online education, you are giving both synchronous, now I am giving a synchronous teaching, but I can be asynchronously. I am sure that this lecture, if it is recorded and it is put in the YouTube, some of you may be seeing it after 5 days, maybe a month. So that means a time asynchronously, and also place you are having maybe in Mumbai or maybe in Jorhat. So this space independent, time independent way the materials will be available and they can communicate and interact with me. It is my role, if some email comes to me, it will be my moral responsibility to reply that. So it may be sometimes impossible task if 200 people sends me a mail and then I am to respond them. So that means an online platform will be necessary that I can set aside. The students will be coming at that time and then they can start exactly chat with me or talk with me, something like that. So these are things which will be coming. But what is this active learning then? I have been telling that we don't need a online learning. We need to get an online active learning. Active learning takes place only by interactions, as we have said, that how the sociologists have said, that is a social presence. That is exactly in our online learning, we'll have to bring a social presence. That is where the sociologists and psychologists will have to work with the educationists. And as the other subject teachers, will have to use those tools. So what is that? We can do discussions, we can do a collaboration in making out. Nowadays it is possible. I think all of you have used Google Form or Google document or a Google display, that what you can do, all of you are sharing the same thing simultaneously. You are writing a paragraph, he is writing a paragraph. I remember here that we had in my class 7 or 8, some 2-3 of my classmates, we were having a fun that we started writing a story. That first paragraph I'll be writing, then my friend will be writing that other paragraph, then the other friend will be writing. The 3-4 of us, we wanted to write a story. And we started going on developing the story at the end. So sometimes my hero was being killed by the other one. Then I have to bring a hero's friend to make a hero. Like that story used to continue. That was a collaboration. Now today, it is possible through online, simultaneously, number of people can write on the same document and you can edit and do it. So that means that there is a ICT, that is our communication technology, they will be giving us help. Maybe today's lectures, I may not be able to come to the technology part of it, but quickly I will go. That is our social interactions in a virtual classroom, how you can get it. Actually, you have got a different social interaction methods in our face-to-face learning. There is a contact between the tutors and learners. But in a virtual classroom, in an online mode, there is a voice only or no video transfer or sometimes video transfer. And then some special intervention, it may not be possible. So I'll be sharing these things. I'll not go each and everything. There are a lot of things. Here, few are included. I got it from some internet sources. But here, this is sharing the applications. That is a use of whiteboard, transfer of access. Nowadays, the tools have come. The tools of whiteboard or smart board. Many people are coming out with a smart classroom. So whatever you will be doing, your students at their home, they can do it. And thus I can see here in this Zoom also, you have got a platform that call your annotations. Somebody was trying with drawing lines, I could see. Those you can write here and then you can stop. Somebody, I love to see here, if somebody I have a question, you answer, you write it, and on that while I am talking, you can do that interactions. So this is how a social interactions is going on in a virtual mode. Similarly, there are so many tools are there. We'll have to talk sometimes separately on the tool. Now these social interaction modes can be, it started in that, this is a figure from Hong Kong after the COVID-19, how a teacher, he was distributing, a school teacher, he is making this presence to the students. So that means if you are to make an interactions to be improved, that means you will have to take the solution of technology. You may have a smart board or whiteboard, you may have video, that is your mobile phone, you can convert it to take your photographs and things like that in such a way, linking with you can have your book reader. You can make, even with the mobile, say you can do a scanning and scan a particular one, and live you can transmit through your LMS, maybe Moodle, maybe other that you have seen Adobe Captivate, you have got Google Classroom, so many things are coming over here. So only thing, why I say the Moodle is good, because that is free. And I'm very happy to share with you that a very village college in Assam, that is called a Koliawar College. It's a very interior village. There, about 4 or 5 years ago, I got hold of the principal and then introduced them Moodle, a LMS platform, and made the teachers to take online tests, which are very limited. There is no proper broadband is not there. Smartphones are not there. Only 20-30% students could do it. But about 4 or 5 years ago, they did it. And then there, about 2 months back, they got this Zoom, and they invited me to conduct a one-day program. And it is amazing to say, interior Assam village is having a LMS systems and they can do such type of things which is done in Hong Kong. So these days are coming, and social interactions will have to bring a lot of flexibility to our learning environment. We have got different resources, maybe in your campus or your organization may be having number of different campuses, and they may be having different schools also under the same organization. Even from their resources can be shared, and then you can engage your tutors, right? Sometimes, of course, the psychology department can interact with the primary school teachers also as their subject for research. And that is why those organizations, say this our Nirmala college, may be having the opportunity to interact with number of Montessori and primary, very good education is being provided in our interior rural area. So there also the tutor engagement can be made as a subject for the research for it. But there the pedagogy and that our virtual learning environment augmentations can be done, studying the learner styles. A student in a Borbil area, in a village, I have seen some of the villages there in the mining area of iron ore mining village, where there is nothing other than mahua tree and beautiful musics and then the songs. Maybe that a church is there. That church can transform to the science and technology learning through this. If we have that very simple, a good monitoring screen, a good computer, and then from the Nirmala college can interact with a primary school of this Ranchi, they can deliver all the advanced technology to a village in maybe that Karo village, Karo Kargil village near Bokaro. Why not? That level of social interactions can be brought through social interactions if we bring it to our computers. So that's why that interactions will take place student to student, student to content, student instructor. And these interactions, earlier that Murray, he studies there are three type of interactions, but later on that Hillman, he made another learner interface interaction. Now we'll have to talk of how the student is interacting with the screen, how he is interacting with the mobile phone, how he is interacting with the TV, how he is interacting with the radio, and how he is interacting with the platform in LMS. Those type of things will be coming in. And while we are teaching the students about dream, or we are teaching them about the Freudian philosophy, Freudian interpretation of dream, and whether this exactly that a lot of people can say whether I have seen a snake, a dead snake, or I'm going to catching a snake, and there could be a lot of different type of things, or I am seeing a flowing river. But that one you can interact immediately. You can link up with your all psychology teachers of about 100 colleges. 20, 30 students can be one day can pile up, and if you can design a very good table, you can easily find out that what exactly the personal incident took place before that dream, and then you can, after another 1 month, you can come back and you can see that what happened after the dream, whether there is any indications of the dream in his personal lifestyle and work. A very small research for a term paper of a psychology honors student can be done. So these type of interface interactions are coming up in the new education order. Now that in the online, not like this, that I'm going monotonously talking about more than 40 minutes, I think I have talked. We should be short and sweet. But for that, you'll have to have number of hours engagements. As because in 1 hour, so I am trying to, you know the story of killing an elephant and putting in a picture. There is a story in Assam. There was a great saint called Shankardev. In the king of Kusbihar, he called one day all the Brahmins to just test them who is intelligent. Then the king told, tomorrow you kill a elephant and put up in a picture and bring to me. So all the Brahmins were sleepless and all. Then this Assamese Pandit, this Shankardev, what he came in the morning very coolly with a pitcher in his hand, And then all the other Brahmins were afraid that what king will be doing today. But they all started laughing that this fellow, he is coming with a pitcher, and then he's telling that he's claiming he has killed the elephant. And what he did, that previous night, the whole night he sat down and he wrote a summary of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and in some about 200 slokas, and put inside that picture and gave it to the king. Well, you see, this is what exactly. He made the thing short. The Srimad Bhagavad Gita, a big book, he made a small thing and brought into that picture, his Kamandalu, and gave it to the king. But that is what is exactly being short and sweet. I could not. And then I have brought a lot of materials here to you, and thinking it will be giving something that one to many interactions. From me, I'm speaking to a lot without seeing their eyes, without having anything. But the challenge is, how will we engage the students in online course? That means communicate in a multiple format, how to provide active learning opportunities, how to make learning social, how to gamify, how will you talk our good jokes, though many times I venture, but I cannot make people laugh at, but still, it is, I need to gamify, my actions will have to be there so that the students can do something and enjoy. Then providing timely and useful feedback, how I am doing that. These are the things how in online it can be done, and that Moodle is one platform. And then for that, you will have to streamline your curriculum. Maybe sometimes if you want to discuss, I can discuss with you, how should you, that is your streamline your curriculum for online learning. So this, creating opportunities for feedback. You'll have to give and receiving feedback from the students. Students should be feeling themselves. You'll have to get them feel that he wants to tell you something of what you have taught. Provide clear feedback using assignment feedback, announcement, discussion boards, even a mail. Email can be there when nothing is there, but nowadays WhatsApp is very good. Then interactions through, how will you motivate them? Here exactly the psychologists and the English department come together. That you need to find out, get your students to collect the number of comments written by the teachers at different places, and you see them and then talk to the English department teacher, exactly how you put the phrase. So this is, you'll have to give a proper feedback. This is what type of motivating sentence you can write down the students to work. Okay, right, very nice. It's a good, thank you. That positive feedback can be, your work is excellent, example of the lesson. Your writing has made great strides over the past several weeks, but I noticed that you are unable to answer all the questions in the assignment. Negative things you have observed, but you are giving a positively something. Now you can say, great job on meeting the objectives on this assignment. I noticed quite a few grammatical errors and typos. So you are encouraging and then you are pointing it out. So the way you will be giving feedback, that also needs to be there. The communication is the most important things in developing interactions. Set the tone of supportive online learning community. How exactly you will be engaging them, and then how you will be giving them the, in this, how you'll be grading them is another interactions. Sometimes we do not know how to set up a question paper. If we do not know how to set up a question paper, and then we are telling that you are having 80%, you are having 50%. The teachers need to learn how to set up a question paper, and then why there is a repetition of questions of previous years in this year. I am not the same teacher, because what I was last year and this 1 year I have learned something, that Khanindra Pathak of last year is different than today's Khanindra Pathak. After this lecture and before this lecture, I will be a different man. I have never lectured to psychologists. I will be seeing your charts, and then that will be changing me, transform me some way. So how will we grade ourselves? That is, while grading the students. So we'll have to organize our activities to allow both your students to breathe. So that is the rubrics creation. This is again a pedagogy activities. How many levels of achievement you will like to include in the rubric how exactly you will define the metrics of that measurement. Now, here the online discussion and students forum, how exactly, how sincerely you participate. So these discussions is a very, very important to, oh, is it the cross? I'm not telling something meaningful, or it is something meaning. Okay, maybe I'll come to your point that something you don't agree. Now, here should not be any difference in learning achievement between students taking web-based courses and students enrolled in traditional. Tomorrow, there will be blending mode of learning. Somebody will be there in the online, somebody will be in face-to-face. Now, while these two environment, our learning outcome should be at par. And definitely, depending on the student's own effort, there will be somebody doing more, somebody doing less. But overall, a general we want to do. Exactly our examination, all the time we are seeing a bell curve. But I try my level base that students should learn something like that, a flattened bell curve. So that means all education level has improved. But there is a things about how exactly that interacting environment you will be creating. This depends on how you will be getting your web-based course. Now, this time is coming to create your course as a web-based course. Then this collaboration with faculty and other students. So that means you may not be doing all by yourself. You can collaborate with your students too. That means making the students to teach themselves. That is what is student-centered learning. And it is possible by bringing ICT into our education. Then how they're getting engaged in their learning, you need to get observed. And then this is exactly, you need to, that communication style, is it relaxed, friendly, attentive, encouraging? Not like that in a monotonous, poor pronunciation of English, and then I am bombarding my words. Not like that. It should be a relaxed, friendly, attentive, and encouraging, which can be only in an interactive mode. And there, this is in a direct face-to-face, we can have it. In a online, they will be sending written assignment, they will be giving group project, they will be giving online presentation. So there is a difference coming up. But you need to do something. Your enthusiasm and energy is very, very important. Then interacting with the individual student online is important. You will have to give individual comments. Interaction with the groups, lessons, participation is important. Encourage chat interactions, do it anytime. Maybe at the evening, 7 o'clock, somewhere you are going, you have seen a very beautiful sunset. With your mobile, you take a photograph of the sunset, and then you see that in your class you observe one student is having a very good hobby in photography. You WhatsApp to him, say, "Hey, Amal, see this one, I am here today." What Amal will think? Oh, Madam Jyoti is so nice that she has sent me a photograph of the place she has seen. That is an interaction of the way and getting the heart of the students. Then always give a feedback that what you observe from them. Send a summary of the class. Whenever you take a online class, maybe before that you can say that, see boys, tomorrow I'm going to discuss all these things. This is the overview of mine. Only maybe 4 or 5 sentences, but that will motivate another 30% of students to come to your class to listen to, and create a community amongst your students. And then offer incentives to them. Maybe in the normal class, sometimes you can give a chocolate, but here sometimes you can do one thing, that is you make a lot of emoji. Nowadays, the emoji world, you can get a lot of different type of emoji, and give as an incentive some good emoji. Maybe even if is that at the age of 60, I find sometimes good at somebody is on my birthday giving a emoji, that giving a claps and all that thing, we enjoy. So definitely the students of 20 years, they will be feeling very good. So you can create a different level of different type of emojis, and if the 30 classes, some students say, I have got this, my A-level emoji is 10, I have got this emoji is 5, and then maybe at the end, you may say, okay, I'm giving this Parker pen to the boy who has got maximum number of this type of emoji, you spare one pen, use pen, he will be very happy that he or she may preserve that your used pen for his lifelong because of this achievement he has got through. And that is the way how we'll have to test their psychological brand and then bring the teaching into them. Then ask review and feedback. So social presence in and effectiveness in instructional delivery. So you deliver whatever way you want, but a social presence that must be ensured. And that can be that social interaction that will bring exactly a learning satisfaction will be brought to the students, and that will initiate a in-depth discussion. Sometimes you can go on, maybe promote collaborative learning, there will be there, but when you will be getting more, say more than 10 or 15 phone calls from your student, your spouse will be telling, क्या हो गया घर में बैठने का भी समय नहीं, दिन भर तो काम करते रहता है, अभी घर में आकर के अपने स्टूडेंट से बात करते हैं, आइए 2 मिनट बात करते, पता नहीं. So that is where you will have to take care of. Communication, online education is a place independent communications. I have already told that is now you can go anywhere. It is a time independence and text-based communications. Through your words, by written words, you are communicating in a much bigger way. But the most important things in online education is you'll have to do a time management. And then you'll have to give developing a positive attitudes amongst them. That high level of interactions among the learners, between learners and instructor will give this positive attitude, that how we'll have to go. And that positive attitude should be, whatever we are doing, nothing in the world is mine, because everything God has given and we will be going and leaving everything to the end over here. So what is there? If we can do the best thing for this whatever the materials around us, if we can do the best for it to serve it more people, that will be the service to the nation. That means the more we will be serving to the nation, this spirit will be coming. When we will be serving to the community, like this exactly, why we still say Mother Teresa, because she is serving the poor and the needy. That if that attitude is coming through our educations, that we are here for serving, because how we serve only giving by some things. It is not mine. Exactly, I have been working for it, I have accumulated for me. But maybe this extra food, if I give to a needy, that is exactly giving the nature's thing to a nature to another needy. And that is the philosophy which will be coming and bringing in. So that attitude development is important to demonstrate to students how to interact with the technology. Just as this now threaded discussion and submission of assignments and attachments in email. So our students are very smart. They know much more things today. We learn from them. If you have got a child of say about 15 to 25 years at your home, then your life is very easy. For the people with the age of 50, 60, we find that we learn every day from them, from their mobile, from their using computer. That exactly these interactions will have to go there, because we must be afraid of that isolation should not come in. When it is an online education, there may be a isolation or loneliness may come into some people, because in the class they are meeting their friends, they are talking, they are playing. So this may happen, but we'll have to see that they can get some interactions that isolation does not take place. While the students are working hard to comply with your assignments, to comply with your actions, he or she may be sitting down, somebody may be feeling sleepy while lying down. In those cases, you will have to see that they are not isolated. You'll have to crack jokes with them, bring it to front line, and there are methods and those things I think you know much better. Social presence that can impact learning is very, very important. So you can find out that there are different features. That is exactly how your social presence can be brought to the students. It can be, social presence can be high, interactive, or most likely will be high, or this can be very less, or communications by dialogue, by conversation, by collaboration, by interactions. Do it at different pace with different students. Yes. Then high level social presence. It creates learning environment that can support cognitive, that is your critical thinking, problem solving, scaffolding and reflection, collaboration, feedback, reinforcement, exchanging resources, all these things amongst them. So these requires a lot of exercise, developing work, creative work, and then you'll have to find out that how learning is taking place. That technology is not a primary determinant. That whatever it is there, we'll have to construct knowledge through the social presence in the online education. So that a concept of effectiveness will have to be brought in. That is, your technology, your characteristics, the way you learn, and that students' characteristics, how they learn, they will be bringing an effectiveness on our online delivery. So this technology has got a lot of things to play. Your characteristics and students' characteristics with the technological factors, when they can be matched together, then the learning will get boosted up. This can be, you need to somehow do a survey as a learning tool. You always do. This type of online or web-based survey can make us know that exactly how your education systems are working. In these presentations, I have collected some questions which may be helpful for a psychological survey of learning system. If someone of you do it, I'd be very happy to get your results to share with my students and to do something for my own learning purposes. So there are also how different statements can be our class discussion, individual project, group project, reading assignment, writing assignment, which exactly affect how in an online environment that interactions can be surveyed and then that can be given up. So what will you suggest to your online students then? How to manage time in online learning is a very, very important, because if he is starting, you are giving an online assignment, he is going to surf the Google, and while searching one, he see another one, and then seeing another one, he see another one. He has spent 3 hours, then find that his one paragraph is not written. So that time management need to be very carefully taught to them, and then it should be blended in their mind so that all the time it is there. I am to do it this, that exactly. The best motivator is the achievement. You'll have to give them such things that this doing some small assignment, he'll have to feel, yes, I have done it. That feeling that I have done it. If you can write every day, I have done this today. That's why I like that if you have read that book, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, there at the end he says that every day you get 1 hour for writing journal. If you can make your students to read that book and write the journal, or the book by Robin Sharma, this the 5 a.m. Club, 5 a.m. club, and then how exactly things to be done to manage the time. These are some of the things we'll have to do. Then how to remain motivated is another thing. So of course, I should not tell you, I should learn from you how to show up, how to schedule a time. Because one thing is there, you need to make a point that every day we'll be saying this is something related to work through your WhatsApp, not just only many WhatsApp comes good morning, good night, but you are giving something, a meaningful statement, and so that the students can think every day and change that sentence quite often, and seeing that, keep them engaged by that sentence every day. That could be showing up that you are there, your presence is there. So you must be visible to them in a meaningful engagement way. So post weekly announcement, respond to questions posted, hold online office hours. You may be having 1 hour, this is my online office. All of you can come and ask something, whatever you like. Post a quick video or clarify. Grade a return students that give the feedback timely. So this gives exactly, every day you log into your computer, communicate to them, and ask, if nothing is to them, ask that, tell what exactly you need my help. That may, the challenge of understanding and attention level, then they must be, because they need to keep attentive. Not like that some professor maybe now while we are talking, some of them might be sleeping. This is a challenge of understanding the attention level. How will you know that? That is, people are attention or not. That is, we'll have to see that Zoom in a different way. Zoom will not help us because if we have to keep all the video off, we cannot. We need to see everybody's face and should be scrolling it. It can be technologically possible. All the participation face, maybe 50 faces are all the time scrolling down. You can keep on noticing that what is there. If the Zoom keep this online lectures only by muting the voice and then it should be with the presenter can mute, unmute. That will be the best way. If the presenter does not feel, I don't feel annoyed if some people are speaking and then while if the small child enter into in front and asking, "Mummy, my pencil kahan rakha hu, nahi mil raha hai," while you are attending. Yes, I can see a good baby, Dr. Sashikala. So that's a nice thing, exactly. When a small child came to Dr. Sashikala watching at that exactly what the mummy is hearing, that type of things is good. Even this interaction should be there, even if because we need to like to play with the annotations, nice, that's all. But what you'll have to do, organize your course in modules and units. That means your curriculum now will have to be designed for its clarity, and that is another lecture. Maybe I will take some time how to take technology for converting your lectures into or your syllabus into modules and units with their learning outcome defined by following Bloom's taxonomy, and how you present or prepare your content in a deliverable mode that students can repeatedly see, and then you must ask them that students' routine, and then you interact with their routine considering the context of your teaching you have prepared well, and then you can see how the flowers bloom. There are so many flowers in the garden, so many birds, so many things, and I'm sure, my dear friends, time is on. We all need to be there and do something. And that something is online education in our subject domain to help others. Whatever we are doing for the nation, and a collaborative way, we'll be interacting with the society to create values and values for the future. Now, I think I stop my lectures here. I have overshoot my time by saying already 12 minutes, but still I'll take some questions and discussions. So please. Now I think we can keep the chat on, and let us see if somebody has. Only 5% have asked something. Oh, thank you. Some of you like the presentation. Do you feel that an online mode of examination can give reliable results, especially in areas where coping during the exam is rampant? Yes, that's good. In my class tests, normally I take online tests, quizzes and all. When I give a notice, coping is allowed, discussion with friends allowed, cheating allowed, and books allowed. And then I give about half an hour or 45 minutes test, and then I give questions. And in last 4 or 5 years, I have been practicing that, and I found the maximum mark of 20 in even simple multiple choice questions and short answer type questions. Students in those type of tests have got -6 to -14. Only once a student managed to get 20. And then I found he managed to get 20 in attempting the test in only 3 minutes. In the next day's class, I made a felicitation to the best mark. And that's because he got 20 marks. I brought him to the podium and asked everybody to clap him. Then I put the question on the board and asked him, read the question paper in 3 minutes. So he was exposed that he copied from someone and did the 20 marks. So that questions to Mr. Professor Debasani Roy, there are difficulties of this coping and all, but here exactly somewhere we have failed to create that psychology of honesty. Exactly, this is because of the education system from the primary education and our societal environment which are there. I remember when my daughter was in class 2 in London, there one of the exactly in the class, the biggest rebuke was there. If someone tells somebody a cheater, he is the most that one. Exactly, they never can think of coping. So this is the way we'll have to go. Yes, Professor Jyoti Prasad, I think I have done some question, answers, and comments.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Patel. Everybody is so happy with your session. So thank you, Dr. Patel. This was indeed an enriching, enlightening, and an extremely interesting session. Your lecture
is there any question somebody can chat?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Yes. Hello, sir.
Yes, please. Who is speaking? Yes.
I am Dr. Sarah Jabin, Assistant Professor,
Yes,
Department of Psychology, Organizing Committee member, and a moderator of the two-day national webinar. Thank you so much, sir, for your enriching, delightful session and providing a unique perspective. Having you as a resource person makes a huge difference. We are indebted to you. There are a few queries from a few more participants, sir. I would like to say the question.
Yes, please.
Nazim Imam.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, Nazim Imam can be, he can be unmuted and he can put his, or if you're reading his question,
yes.
he can.
Yes, I'm reading, sir.
Yeah, I can see his face. Yes.
He is asking, do overuse of social media and electronic gadgets to interact with others for transferring information, making us addicted and increasing gadgets dependency?
Yes, ये तो रट लग जाने से तो मुश्किल होता ही है, क्योंकि everything, too much of everything is very bad. We'll have to see that only the amount to be digested can be, that should be offered. So that is a problem with the overdose is, and that's why what I say in our curriculum, while the curriculum design, everybody talk about the credit points. Exactly that what is the planning for the non-contact hours. Our curriculum development is basically not proper. It should not be only credit point based. It should be exactly that is your how much hours for your subject is necessary, and if you can define that the overuse will not be coming. Now the students do not know exactly what is his planning for the or non-contact hours. We are keeping say 8 hours a day, 5 days, 40 hours in a week in the classroom, but in a week there is more than this 40 hours. For those hours we do not have anything planned in our curriculum, and the students are never talked about it. So that's what, when it is an online education, when I say that streamline your learning material with a small and sweet content development, and there are a lot of content authoring tools are available, which that if you can do it, and then definitely you will be getting over this problem. And then one is say there's a people get used to, they are very much interested to their own welfare. Only maybe your 2% or 3% people want to get self-destruction. So if you are putting the things in the right perspective, ये रट लगने वाला सिस्टम ये नहीं आएगा और ये सही ढंग से आगे चलेगा. लेकिन हाँ, हर सब्जेक्ट का जो करिकुलम है, अभी ये 21st सेंचुरी में हम लोग का करिकुलम को सिर्फ किसी ने बता दिया ये ब्लूम्स टेक्सोनॉमी लगाना है, एक स्टूडेंट सेंटर्ड लर्निंग बोल करके करना है, और हम लोग उसको पैरट की तरफ कॉपी करके चारों तरफ लगा रहे हैं. ये नहीं होना चाहिए. हम लोग का अपना पर्सपेक्टिव में अपने सोसाइटी के लिए, अभी रांची डिस्ट्रिक्ट में एक स्कूल एजुकेशन का जो करिकुलम होगा वो आपका जिससे सिंगरौली में नहीं होगा, वो आपका मुंबई में नहीं होगा. ये जब समझ में आ जाएगा, अगर सेम करिकुलम भी हो, उसका डिलीवरी मोड, एग्जामिनेशन टाइप अलग होगी, तब जा करके कुछ आगे बढ़ेगा. लेकिन ये बहुत बड़ा हरकुलियन टास्क है. आई डोंट नो व्हेन इट विल बी देयर, बट वी विल बी एबल टू डू समडे. आई एम होपफुल. Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Still,
Yes, please. Any?
Any more questions, Sarwar?
Yes, is muted, I think.
Dr. Sarwar, any more questions?
Yes, he's muted.
sorry, sir. Again, I am reading out the question. Rachmi Mala Sahu, the HOD Department of Political Science, Nirmala College, she is asking, how will the rural students cope up with online teaching with poor networking? Especially the problem is galore in remote areas of Jharkhand. Yes, sir.
Yes, I said that this is a problem, our low bandwidth and then zero connectivity. Now, as in IIT, we are thinking of one thing, that we have got also number of students from some areas where they are not there. So with this, we are opening, we have found out that there are more than 2,000 students are there out of our 13,000 students who are not having connectivity. We are thinking of bringing some of them over here to the campus, and then we are so that they can access from the hostels, and then our classes we conduct from our smart classroom or from the office. But that is not possible in the schools and college levels, because there is a huge number, and then there is a this is a big issue in front of us. But there only Maharashtra, this Madhya Pradesh, Assam, Maharashtra, Arunachal Pradesh, they have adopted this tele-education, which was a program of 1995 taken up by ISRO when they launched this satellite educational satellite. Now, unfortunately, many of our district this education officer, there's our education administrator, many times even the our secretaries of education and all, they are very passive, and they are only the bureaucrats, or their just job is to get the salary, and they have not worked properly. Otherwise, in last 25 years, we would not have such a area, or it not have such type of things. So it is now the things will have to be taken into that. Good thing that they will be now exposed that exactly where our school inspectors and these others are not working for those, and they are creating a digitally divided society. So you may be already in the psychology, you may have a big challenge now to determining standards for digital division, and then exactly how that provisions will have to be brought to them. And the first thing is, from the panels, wherever is possible, you should tell the government should stop some of this their foolish and then very ridiculous programs like distributing laptop computer to people who pass matriculation. Instead of those laptop computers, there could be a very good, that is your broadband receiving center with their using a solar power, and then the connectivity can be created in those villages in a much better way. So exactly those people who created that and they wasted our resources by distributing computers should be given a task now that create this connectivity. And I think there is a political will is required, and this bureaucratic inefficiency and incompetency of things will have to be eradicated. Sorry for the comments. My comments are sometimes I speak, I am not a very smooth talker, and then I do not know how to speak, keeping my thoughts hidden. So I'm sorry to say that, but whatever I don't like, I say it. Please don't mind it. That I don't mean. It is, to my understanding, I'll be very happy if somebody proves that I am wrong, that in last 25 years, whatever supposed to be done for those poor villages, it is, you are absolutely right that in this question, because I have seen some of those interior villages. I have gone to number of Mundag villages, and then this near our mining areas. I know that way people are having in a very tough time because and getting digitally divided and going to be pushed to a different world. So
Thank
one
you,
more
sir.
question and then we'll stop, I think.
Yes, sir. There is one more question by Dr. Jyoti Pandey, Department of Economics, Nirmala College. She has asked, how do you prepare questions for the online test? Yes, sir.
Yes, there is a two types of online tests are of two types. One is called proctored tests. That is, in a nowadays technology is available. If you are getting your semester exam and all that thing, that students and can be with his mobile camera or in the laptop camera, he will be seen, the invigilator will be seeing if his head is not on the top of his answering, if he is looking here and there, that can be seen and detected. And by that exactly the coping can be stopped and examination can be taken. That called a proctored examination. And then in India, Code Tantra, a indigenous company, they are coming up with a very good system of that. Similarly, some other foreign vendors are also giving solutions. But there's to take the test, the more important is to take this our formative assessment. आपका केक का टेस्ट कैसा होगा? This one, the test कैसी होगी? You can know only if what type of yeast you have purchased, whether very old or फुलटा ही नहीं है, या तो आपने बुरा शुगर दिया है या शुगर को ला करके ग्राइंड किया है और आपने उसमें एग डाले हैं कितने ढंग से कितना, इस सारी के ऊपर में होता है. तो प्रोसेस एंड देयर इज ए प्रोडक्ट. What we are doing in the semester exam and all that thing, we are giving a product testing by asking few 5-6 questions. So online testing may we should have more of the testing of the process, how he is reading. Maybe the test can be how he is giving this his daily schedule, writing down in a piece of paper and be a test. So that way, what we'll have to do, we'll have to create more formative assessment so that the process of his learning, how it is going on to be tested online. And that can be done by multiple choice question, that can be done by fill up the gaps, that can be done by match the following, that can be done by 1 to word answer questions, that can be done by another form of question is called your closed questions. If someone is there from education department here, they will be knowing about what is closed questions. So this, or I feel that all the other teachers should be given a good lesson by education teachers, what is the formative assessment and how to do it. While putting the education in online form, formative assessment is a must and to be done very carefully. Thank you. I think we should come to close now.
Thank you. Once again, thank you very much, sir. There are no more questions, but still there is some appreciating messages for you.
Okay.
Thank you very much, sir. Over to Dr. Jyoti Prasad.
Thank you, Dr. Pathak. It was indeed an enriching, enlightening, and an extremely interesting session. Your lecture gives us an insight on how to deal with our students in the new normal environment, as you say, and continue to impart to our students and teach effectively online. Your techniques on how to keep the students motivated was also very effective. We shall definitely try some of them. Your information on social interaction of a virtual classroom will be an effective tool for all the teaching faculty. Here we are not having only the people from psychology, the faculty from overall faculty have joined us. And so this will be effective teaching tool for all of them. The session kept us glued to our seats. I thank you heartily for your knowledge sharing. Thank you, Dr. Pathak.
Thank you. Here, can everybody put their videos on at least, keeping the sounds off, so that we can have a group photographs of it. Sometimes it is good. All of us should be there. You can take a screenshot. So that could be a good thing to keep in memory. And then my thank you, Professor, Principal Sister Jyoti. And I think I appreciate the way you have encouraged can the other, while I'm talking to Sister Jyoti, others can put the videos on, that whoever is there, it will be good. And one thing is there, I do passionately involved in this teaching, learning and pedagogy. So I think it is time now that all teachers to convert their PowerPoint, convert their class note Word document into a that is shareable content. For that, there are some technology, and there is this model. I don't know whether if you are using or you have heard of it, modular object-oriented dynamic learning environment. Sometimes I do give webinar on teaching on how to use that. So some of you, if you want, sometimes you can organize and then taking some good free time, and then we can have a real interactive session. One day will be just knowing about it, then next one you can install that in your own college because it is freely available. After installing that, all the teachers can use it, and if you get it, and you can sit down here on the Zoom with your laptop on, and then there you can do a hands-on. I can bring my technician, and the technicians can instruct you what to do, and by that you can see and enjoy a product, and you can say, yes, we have achieved it. Thank you so much. I think with this, I go offline.
Thank you,
Thank you.
sir. Thank you. Thank you. Over to Dr. Sarwat.
Now we come to the end of session 3 of day 2, 18th July 2020. With your kind permission, sister, and HOD Department of Psychology, we may end the session.
Yes. I think sister is a bit busy. Just a moment.
Okay.
Once again.
Thank you, sister. Thank you, HOD Department of Psychology and convener. Thank you all. We will meet you all again at 2 p.m. with the today's further insightful session 4. Thank you all.